haven't slept, we've been calling, we're tired.
When 10,000 Air Canada flight attendants walked off the job.
Extensive coverage here on CBC News Network of the Air Canada strike.
Passengers were left in the lurch, all over the country and the world.
I'm starting a new job, and I'd love to be home and take care of our house and our animals.
An estimated 3,000 flights were cancelled. 130,000 passengers affected every single day. So, would that mess have been any better if the Canadian airline industry had more competition, more options to keep things running smoothly? Angry passengers caught in the strike chaos sure thought so.
Air travel within Canada to me is far too expensive, and I think it has everything to do with the fact that we don't have a variety of airlines.
We need more options. We really only have two.
Any company from the US or from Europe that can come in and offer a budget-friendly option, they would find a market.
Anthony DeRoche of the Competition Bureau of Canada says they're right.
The recent strike was not a competition event necessarily, but it drew a lot of attention to the important role that competition plays in the economy.
Air Canada and WestJet account for up to 3/4 of all domestic passenger traffic. Smaller airlines have muscled in, but many others have not survived. So, how to get more airlines in? The Competition Bureau published a report back in June recommending in part that the federal government reduce foreign ownership requirements and allow U.S. airlines to pick up and drop off passengers on Canadian domestic flights.
The impact of just having one new carrier on a given route between two cities, on average it leads to a 9% reduction in price.
At a House of Commons Standing Committee on Transport, Infrastructure and Communities, passenger advocate Gabor Lukács made that same argument.
I recommend granting to selected trustworthy foreign airlines the right to operate flights within Canada.
It's absolutely true that Canadians deserve more choice and more variety and better service when it comes to air travel.
The head of the Canadian Anti-Monopoly Project says allowing foreign companies in could improve fares on some major routes, but possibly at the expense of those critical connections between smaller Canadian communities.
If you give more room for foreign investment, that does open up channels of capital for existing or new airlines to come in and compete. But again, this idea that these foreign companies, if not for these regulatory restrictions, would suddenly love flying Saskatoon to Calgary, I think is unfortunately a bit of wishful thinking. We need to look at our own domestic market, how we fund air traffic controllers, how we fund airports, and how we charge airlines for that infrastructure, and think about how that system could be re-engineered to instead support a greater variety of players that actually can make a business out of serving more regional routes.
This analyst says giving foreign carriers more access could also have a significant impact on passenger service, even salaries for employees.
So, for example, Air Canada, British Airways, comparable airlines, former flag carriers. What happened in British Airways, in order to respond to low fares airlines, it started introducing a second tier, two-tier workforce, paid around 60%, 66%. When you increase competition, this isn't going to resolve all problems, and it will come with a host of other issues.